Hello guys, let us talk about proportions. For now you'll be learning two types, direct and indirect. Direct proportions is when you're comparing two items. When one item increases, the other will increase. Then indirect proportion, when one increases, the other will decrease. So in this topic, the first thing when you're given a question, you must be able to identify if it's a direct or it's an indirect proportion. So let us do example 1. This is a direct proportion example. A car traveling at a constant speed travels 100 kilometers in 25 minutes. How far can it travel in 10 minutes? We are going to show you the first method in this video, then a second method in the next video. So first things first, create a relationship. 100 kilometers is equals to 25 minutes. Okay, that's the first step. That's the relationship. How far can it travel in 10 minutes? So you come here and you write 10 minutes, all the minutes to one side, all the kilometers to one side. Now we want to know how far it will travel. Now it covered 25. In 25 minutes, it covered 100 kilometers. What do you think happens in 10 minutes? It should cover less than 100 kilometers. So this will be less. So when you say less, you are going to create a fraction with these two. Less, it means the smaller number will go on top. More, the bigger number will go on top. So less, the smaller number will go on top. Let's create a fraction here. 10 minutes over 25 minutes times 100 kilometers. Minutes and minutes will cancel. So 10 over 25 times 100. This is 5 into 10, that's 2. 5 into 25, that's 5. 2/5 of 100, that's 40 kilometers. So in 10 minutes, the car travels 40 kilometers. Let us do the second one. This was the first one. The second one, relationship, 100 kilometers is equals to 25 minutes. So this is the relationship. And what's the question? How far can it travel in 1 hour? 1 hour is 60 minutes. You put all the time to one side. So 25 minutes, it traveled 100 kilometers. 60 minutes, now the time is more. Is it going to be more also in distance? Yes, it should cover more distance with more time. So you put more. We call this direct proportion because when one is decreasing, the other is decreasing. When one is increasing, the other is also increasing. That's why I call it direct proportion. So when you have this, you should create a fraction with this. Remember, when you say more, it's the bigger that goes on top. When you say less, it's the smaller that goes on top. So this time we said more, so the bigger number should go on top. So this is 60 over 25 minutes multiplied by 100 kilometers. You get 240 kilometers. So in 25 minutes, this car traveled 100 kilometers, but in 60 minutes, it will travel 240 kilometers. In 10 minutes, it will travel 40 kilometers. So just remember, for direct proportion, when one increases, the other will also increase. When one decreases, the other will also decrease. Example 2. It is known that 3 hours is 180 minutes. So they've given you a relationship. 3 hours is equals to 180 minutes. How many minutes do you have in 24 hours? Hours are this side. Come here and write 24 hours. Now, 3 hours is got 180 minutes. 24 hours, do you expect to be more minutes or to be less minutes? It should be more minutes. So you write more. If you write more, it's the bigger number that goes on top when you create a fraction with these two. So 24 hours divided by 3 hours times 180 minutes. Hour and hour will cancel. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 24, that's 8. 8 times 180 minutes, that's 1,440 minutes. So in 24 hours, we have 1,440 minutes. This was part 1. Let us do part 2. The relationship is 3 hours is equals to 180 minutes from the statement. Now, how many minutes do you have in quarter of an hour? So hours are this side. Quarter of an hour is equals to, so 3 hours equals to 180 minutes. A quarter of an hour, this is way less than 3. So since it is direct proportion, we should expect less minutes for less hours. So we'll write less. Now, as we said, if you say less, it's the smaller number that will go on top. Okay. So let us create the fraction. A quarter hour divided by 3 hours times 180 minutes. Hour and hour cancel. This will be a quarter times 180 over 3. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 18, 6. 3 into 0, 0. So a quarter of 60, that's 15. So we have 15 minutes. In a quarter of an hour, we have 15 minutes. So what you are saying about direct proportion is this. If you've got 10 rand, let's say you can buy 3 candy. So if you've got more money, like 20 rand, we expect you to buy more candy. Okay? If you've got less money, like 5 rand, we expect you to buy less candy. Okay, so let us talk about indirect proportion. We said when one thing increases, the other will decrease. If you've got your railway wagon, okay, it has got a certain speed. So let's say 20 kilometers per hour, that's its speed. The more you put rocks inside there, the more rocks you put, the lesser the speed. The speed will decrease because it's now being heavy. So the more rocks you put, the lesser the speed. So while you're increasing rocks, okay, the speed is going down. So that's just one example. Example 1. A bus traveling at 80 kilometers per hour finished a journey in 8 hours. 80 kilometers per hour is equal to 8 hours. A tractor traveling at 30 kilometers per hour will take how much time to finish the same journey? 30 kilometers per hour. So the speed is reduced. So will it finish the journey in more time or in less time? Because the speed has been reduced, it will take more time. That's why we call it indirect proportion, because this is reduced, but this will increase. So it's indirect proportion. Everything else doesn't change. More is the bigger number on top. 80 kilometers per hour divided by 30 kilometers per hour times 8 hours. You have 21.3 hours. So a tractor will finish the journey in 21.3 hours. Let's do the second one. We already know our relationship. 80 kilometers per hour is equals to 8 hours. Now let's do the second question. A bullet train traveling at 400 kilometers per hour will take how much time to finish the same journey? So 400 kilometers per hour will come this side. Okay, so the speed is increased now. Since the speed is increased, will it take faster or lesser time than the bus, or it will take more time? Because the speed is increased, time will be less. The journey will take less time. Okay, so it's indirect proportion, because as you are increasing the speed, you take less time to finish the journey. So if you say less, the smaller number always goes on top when you say less. Okay, so you can multiply this. 0 and 0, it cancels. 8 into 8, 1. 8 into 40, that's 5. 8 hours divided by 5. This is equals to 1.6 hours. So a bullet train will take 1.6 hours, where the bus is taking 8 hours and the tractor is taking 21.3 hours. Example 2 on indirect proportion. It is known that 10 men can build a house in 7 days. 10 men is equals to 7 days. This is the relationship. How many days can 30 men take? Okay, so it's 30 men is equals to, we want to see how many days. So since we have a lot of men now, the work should take less days because they are helping each other now. Okay, unlike if we say how many days can one man take, he will take more than 7 days. But now we have more men, it will take less than 7 days because they are now helping each other. So when you say less, the smaller number on top, 10 men divided by 30 men times 7 days. Men and men will cancel. This is 1/3. 1/3 of 7, this would be 2.3 days. So 10 men can build a house in 7 days, and 30 men will build that same house in 2.3 days. Let's finish this up. The relationship is 10 men is equals to 7 days. Now, how many men can do the work in 5 days? So we are given days now. 5 days. We are looking for men. Okay. So we know that 10 men will use 7 days. But what if we want the work to be done in 5 days? We have to increase the number of men so that we can cut the days. So 5 days equals to more men. We call this indirect proportion because when you are increasing men, the days are reducing. When you are reducing the days, the men are increasing. It's always the opposite of whatever is happening to the other. So when you say more, the bigger number on top. 7 days over 5 days times 10 men. Days and days will cancel. 7 divided by 5 times 10. Okay, 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 10, 2. 7 times 2, that's 14. 14 men. So 14 men will finish the work in 5 days.